Hey guys, I decided to install my own system on my GMC 1500 AT4 with the Duramax motor. Ran the power. What I did was I started on the back side. Just brought in the power. I moved the little black finned module to the right side so I can make room for the Fosgate amp. Then I ran my power wire through along with my remote. I didn't feel like separating it, but I'm not even getting any ground noise or humming or anything. So here's my pathway. Went through here, pulled all these panels, and I used a little piece of solid wire to get it into this panel. You got to pull this off on the right side of the passenger seat. Pull this panel off as well. And what I did was I brought, when you pull everything off, underneath in that area right there, there's a little round plastic piece that I drilled out, and I sealed it, and that's how I brought my way into the engine bay. Because for some reason on these 2026, it's a pain in the ass to try to find anything that's behind the dash on either side. So I went with the Fosgate P3s, two Fosgate P3s, and you can kind of see this piece of wood. I kind of had to secure the box that I bought from Best Buy. It was kind of flexing a little too much with this much power. So I glued it on, screwed it on, an extra piece of 3x4 went inside the speaker box. This is actually a ported box, so I put in some support blocks and re-glued it because it was kind of a cheap assembly by wherever Best Buy bought it from. So this is just a Rockford Fosgate, about 1400 watts, and it's plenty for the base. And I used a kicker key lock. Let me climb in there, show you guys. Here's the key lock, and here's my ground wire that I tapped into the seat belt. You can see there. Of course, I sandpapered the paint to make it a better ground. Yeah, that was it. So I'm not a professional or anything. I just didn't feel like paying for it. Saved me about $400 worth of labor. So again, this module, I think it's a DSP or something, used to be right where this board's at. So I relocated it and it snapped in perfect. And one more note, kind of important note on this seat removal in the 2026. You just have to pull off the these little guys. You just push with a flathead. After you remove the headrest, push with a flathead, and then oops, sorry about that. They'll end up popping this out. Then you can put in a little hook to hook these up and pull the seat. And then, but I would start with removing these. I believe these were 10 millimeters. There's 4 of them that hold the bottom part of the seat. So if you pull those off first, then remove all your headrests. There's 1, 2, and 3. Remove all those pins, and then there's only 1 on each side of this release hatch or latch. I believe on the 25s and 20 or older, they had a 3rd one that used to be right here, and they got rid of that. So that's it. What I'd add was on this key lock, you do want to tap into the subwoofer lines, and that would be the blue and gray with green and black on the top harness. I originally tapped into the rear rights, which is this green and green black on the middle port, but that was giving me issues with the bass rollover or something like that, to where I kept on losing the gains and the extra volume of bass when the louder I turned the volume. So I looked it up, and it told me to tap into the subwoofer line level, and I cut the line that actually goes to the subwoofer itself, so that I can just use my Fosgates as my main source for the bass. And one more thing is, when you install this kicker key lock, you want to follow the setup. There's some videos on that, but it basically tells you to push this little key button down here to calibrate it. But before you do all that, you'd want to have all of your gains to 0, all your gains on the head unit all to 0, all of these inputs and outputs on 0. Then you slowly calibrate and just follow those directions. It's pretty simple. You put your volume at 75% on the head unit, with all your gains at 0 at the head unit. Play a pretty good bassy track that keeps that high decibels going for the low frequency. And then you would slowly dial in your input, and then you would make the adjustments on the output. But there's more detailed videos out there, I'm sure. And then the final thing would be to just adjust your gain. And for my amp, I just had to watch out and make sure that it wasn't clipping, or none of these indicator lights were staying solid red and causing the amp to cut out. Thanks for watching.